So welcome one and all to the Bloodbath Podcast. We're your hosts.
I'm still Reapy Hikru.
I'm BloodNDeception. And sorry for not updating as often as we said we would in the last, but we're back with some more tidbitty video nonsense.
What?
Tidbitties?
Perfect tense.
10 out of 10.
Dad.
Okay, so let's get right down to business. So there's been a lot of gaming related news that revolved around our little what was it our little
Our Lord and Savior,
our little baby funded project here, which is the Friday the 13th game. Now, should we be concerned as Friday the 13th game has been delayed till spring of 2017? They did kind of make things a bit questionable because of the fact is we've been, as gamers and not as horror fans, we've seen a lot of things. Oh, yeah, it's Christmas time, if you can tell from my clock. Merry Christmas, because that's probably when you're gonna get this video, unfortunately. I forgot that the clock was actually a thing. Yeah, my family. My family likes to put that clock out, and I didn't realize what time it was. Let's just wait for this to finish out. That actually does bring up a really good point, but we'll get that. Like for Christmas,
your alarm clock going off brings up a good point.
Yeah, like Christmas movies that are horror related, because we have stuff like Krampus. But we can get to that later, because we're probably gonna get this video out for Christmas. So why not bundle that in with the rest of the video? But
it's the season.
I lost my train of thought now.
As gamers.
As gamers, we're used to delays as of previous with things like Mighty Number 9.
That's how many times it was delayed too, to be honest.
Yeah, Mighty Number 9 times delayed. We've had actually just crowdfunded or petition things. There's a lot of things like that. Personally, we've also got the Castlevania game that's gonna be coming. It was like the Castlevania spiritual successor.
Was it Bloodstained Memories or something like that?
I think I'm not.
Yeah, that should be a game we also cover on there. I mean, it doesn't. It's not directly related to horror, but it actually kind of walks that line of like.
Yeah, definitely, because it does
Victorian era.
I mean, we do have the whole Dracula thing, so why not? Like bringing that up, we have like a lot of crowdfunded things that or petition things that get released that somehow don't meet the demands of the people.
Yeah.
Now I don't want this to be another one of those. But with Friday the 13th, the game, we want a lot of things. There were a lot of things on the cutting room floor that they were going to cut out of the game, or just not include to begin with. But so far, let me actually go I want to take a look at how much has been raised.
My question is, are we still going to get our beta keys?
Apparently the beta is coming. It is.
Because I was just wondering, like, are we asked out of the beta? Because I'm sure we did pre-order right before the deadline, so we should get our beta keys.
I need to go look now. Because I heard the last time. When's the last thing I have to look at? I actually have to look at our previous Skype conversation.
You did it on Skype?
Yeah, it was on Skype. The last time I did it was like the last time I calculated it was on Skype. From the time previously, it was okay. So from the last time I had looked, I think, and sent it on Skype, it had made a total of I think $1,268,308.20. That's from the backer kit, and the 20 cents was from the Kickstarter.
Right.
Now, that being, let me calculate this a bit. I'm too lazy to do the thinking on my own part. We got someone needs to say something because I'm like getting really antsy here because apparently you can like give $half, I guess, for
50
this.
Cents?
Yeah, someone gave 50 cents on backer kit, and I'm like, who did that? Huh. So it's now $1,466,217.70 at this time.
That's the price of 2.5 Futurama episodes.
It's that we're at that much right now.
I was watching 107 Facts about Futurama. That's why I know.
Okay, so we've got quite a we've got at least like almost a 200,000 200,000 increase I think from that. I'm too lazy to math, but like I'm pretty sure that's what it is. An additional like 200,000 that was raised. But my problem here is that that the beta test is for fall. We're pretty much in winter now.
We are in winter.
Yeah, we're pretty much like there is snow on the ground, and they're telling us the beta test is in fall. Fall was like October, man. That was when the game was supposed to be released.
2 weeks ago.
Hold on. Fall to me is just October. That's just it. Early November is like the end of it for me. That's like, because everybody always thinks fall is like October. That's that Christmas or Christmas time. You got nothing on Halloween. Winter stays the longest. And fall goes away the quickest. My point is that this right here,
we should already have our beta right now.
Yeah, we should already have that.
I want to be able to open up my email, scroll down a little bit, and see Friday the 13th beta key.
Yeah, we should
be able to do that, but no. I have my email on my phone, and it auto updates like every 30 minutes. Nothing.
So so this is pretty much, this is the lack of communication here is kind of disturbing for me. But as we all know, like we said, the game was delayed till spring apparently, and what we're getting, they recently showed us, which was up to this point we didn't know which version we were getting in terms of the fact that they were adding Tommy Jarvis as a playable character.
Hype.
We were that was very hyped, and even Corey Feldman was very hyped and very enthusiastic about how he wanted to return to the series. He wanted to return as Tommy Jarvis, and Tommy Jarvis, if you don't know the character, is one of the most important characters to Friday the 13th. He's the closest thing we have to a Laurie Strode, or in terms of a recurring character, or Dr. Loomis for that matter of fact, or a Nancy Thompson, or whatever you can really, or like a you know any character for the matter, in a recurring character. But
Yeah.
the thing is that they're giving us the version from Jason Lives, which was portrayed by um, the same guy who he is being portrayed by the same person. Not he did record the lines, and some of the other movies he's been in have been the Return of the Living Dead films,
I
and which I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan, because I did enjoy the first one and the third one. I didn't actually care for the second one, but not because of the performance from him as an actor. I just personally didn't like the script. Um, but I'm happy to see the character of Tommy Jarvis returning.
I also really liked how accurate they made him look to the movie. Like
The only
that's
thing
one thing.
the only thing that leaves me scratching my head is the fact that he's carrying a shotgun in the
Yeah.
in the video,
But that
because
could that could just be
he
something that he
never
picked up when he was walking through the
yeah,
forest.
that's true. I mean, you never got to see him. I hope that's not like a weapon that he or that any of the characters can automatically just get
Yeah, it has to be something
from
that you really
spawning.
have to like that you really have
You
to
have
look
to
for.
search for it, because even in the movie, he never carried a gun. I believe. I watched the movie, I think yesterday or the day before, and uh, I don't remember him carrying a gun. The closest thing I saw him carrying, I think, was a shovel.
Yeah. But again, I really loved how accurate they made him look in the
Yeah,
movie.
I really liked
Because
that.
that's
That
one thing
was
that's one thing that video games uh do struggle with from time to time. Like there are video games that really nail it down, and then there are video games that just miss the mark. This instance, I think, is a good example of games that really nailed it.
I showed the like I've been watching the Friday the 13th films with my girlfriend. She's never seen them before. And right after watching Jason Lives, I sent her the video from the from the introduction of Tommy Jarvis from the game, and she's like, "Wow, why does that look so real? Why does that look so good? Why does it look like it's actually the character?"
Exactly.
And that's what I really like, is that they did go into detail. The same with the Jason models; those were very detailed.
I think what helped the Jason models is that they were actually mocapped by Kane Hodder.
Well, the thing is he's played Jasons that weren't actually him. That's the weird thing.
Mm.
Like like part 2, 3, and 6. Those are all Jasons that weren't him. Like the ones that he did do were like 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I mean, the thing is that you'll actually get to see these Jasons now with that unique personality, which obviously the Kane Hodder Jason has a specific feel. He is a specific different character than the earlier Jasons, but you're gonna finally be able to see those Jasons with that specific movement, with that feel that I think a lot of fans really liked. I think will finally get to see that, and that's what's really getting people hooked. I think as
Oh
well,
yeah.
because a lot of people know the thing is, a lot of people hate the later versions of like, or not even, I mean, the later movies. What am I talking about? People, I guess, can say they liked 7. A lot of people complain about the inconsistencies with 8 because of the look of Jason, and like how, like, even like the Jason as a kid didn't look right.
That's one thing I want to touch on later on in the podcast, just like how inconsistent like the
That
vocal characters are throughout
let's
series. But
also
yeah.
talk about the fact that people hated 9, other than the Freddy cameo at the way end.
I loved
Spoilers,
it.
yeah,
I
that's
loved
it.
it when I don't know if it was 9 or if it was something else, but the diner scene where the freaking lady gets
With
punched. I loved it.
There's the one with there's two diner scenes in between the two between 8 and 9. There's the one where they're in New York where uh Jason like grabs a guy and like I think he tosses him by the arm, I think. And then I think in part 9 there's the fat lady, I think.
Yeah,
She's
she
like
is. She like
yeah.
straight up gets punched and like her face gets like all sucked in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was part 9. But the thing is that movie is heavily hated by the franchise because they consider it to have a very lack of Jason because he gets blown up in like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then they brought in
10.
that whole idea that no
And
matter what,
Kane Hodder played himself like in the movie. Like
yeah.
he played like his own character, which was kind of cool. Like and he calls he literally says Jason was not like he doesn't actually say like Jason, but he says he was nothing but a big old pussy anyways. And then he dies. And, like that was great. But I mean, there was a very severe lack of Jason in it, and the look was like something was wrong with his head. It's like somebody took the microwave gun from Killing Floor 2 and made him really fat with it and like gave him a lot of radiation. Because the mask did not fit him at all. Like let's be honest there. The Jason and Jason X was probably that movie was hated because it's Jason in space. It's fucking stupid. But
at least they tried something new.
Mm-hmm. The Jason look was actually original too. Like not even Uber Jason, like the original, like the the normal Jason. It was an original look to him because it looked totally different, but it didn't look out of place for him. It just looked like it was kind of updated, like with an aged look to him. He looked like he was. That's what I actually gotta say was actually okay. I can't say I hate the film. Like I like every single one of them for different reasons. Jason Goes to Hell was different because it wasn't a Friday the 13th film. It didn't have it didn't have the title.
It didn't have the title and it didn't really have that camp feel.
Yeah,
it had that sense of isolation, yes, but it really didn't feel.
There were a lot of cool things that they did in the film. They gave it more like backstory in terms of like, oh, there's more Voorhees instead of just Pamela and Jason.
Yeah,
and I liked that. I didn't like the idea that there was lack of actual Jason, but there's the point where you get to where Jason has become the star, which is something I want to touch on later as well. But like getting back to the point is you have all these different Jasons throughout the years where the films were bad, but somehow people representing Kane Hodder. They're like those were good performances. The scripts may have been bad, and the characters may not have been enjoyable, but Jason was, which made it really weird because he was the most well acted character somehow out of all of those films. Which makes you wonder, could the Friday the 13th films had been better if Kane Hodder had gotten involved earlier on instead of jumping in at part 7? Because if you may not know this, but there was a lot of issues with actors portraying Jason early as early as the second film. They had multiple people playing Jason throughout those films. Yeah. I think someone actually got fired or walked off set in part 6, if I remember.
Which like would have been nice
during I know like one of the issues was like during the paintball scene.
Yeah.
That was one of the issues where they had to have somebody else play him, I think. And then one of the guys walked off set or he was fired because of the way he was portraying him.
One thing I don't actually remember really the story right now. In the Friday the 13th series is have Jason be already bigger and then have him gradually like look skinnier. throughout the movies.
That's something I didn't like, was because the fact is, like, I looked at, like, I was watching part 6 and then I watched part 7. I'm like, have you noticed between the two films that for someone who's decomposing, he's getting really fat?
Yeah, exactly. He should already be like, if they're gonna have him be like giant mountain man dude, he should be big. He should be big to start out and then gradually like kind of get thinner and thinner and thinner. Or at least not too thin. It's thin
Well,
enough to where Kane Hodder could still play as
you
him.
can't really blame him for the fact that the other films were different stuntmen, but
Yeah.
in the case of Kane Hodder is a big, and he's kind of I think he said he's a pretty shorter guy compared to who they had.
Yeah, he was like what 6'3".
The guy the guy who played him in Freddy versus Jason was actually like the same stuntman who worked on part 8 in one scene. I think it was actually the diner scene too.
Oh no, Kane Hodder is 6'4".
He's not. He's still taller than me, so I don't know why Ronnie Yu was complaining about that. Yeah, Ronnie Yu,
Ken Kersinger played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason.
Well, he wasn't bad. It's just the fact that Ronnie Yu was just like, apparently, oh, I wanted a taller guy to do. I didn't want Jason to look small compared to Freddy, or I didn't. I wanted him to be taller compared to Freddy.
The guy is only an inch taller than Kane Hodder.
I know, it's ridiculous. And then he's then Ronnie Yu is blaming New Line for the reason that they recasted Kane Hodder, but they know that Kane Hodder would get more butts and seats. But apparently one of the heads who was behind Freddy versus Jason was the same chick who did like a lot of the summer blockbusters, like I Know What You Did Last Summer. A lot of those kind of drama-y horror films, like high school drama horror films.
Yeah.
And she apparently didn't like Kane Hodder, even though like everybody, all the signs directly point to Ronnie Yu. Everybody else points at Ronnie Yu as the reason why they didn't cast him, and he's pointing it back at New Line. And then everybody's saying, like even like some of the other people are saying the reason that Jason walks so weird and so slow and so out of character is because they wanted him to be like Ronnie Yu wanted him to be like Frankenstein. That's legitimately what made it.
They wanted him to be like Frankenstein.
They wanted him to be like Frankenstein. They wanted him to walk slow and stupid.
That is very slow and stupid.
Coming from the guy who directed Bride of Chucky, yeah.
Like I don't expect Jason to be freaking quick on his feet, but I expect him to be a lot faster than Frankenstein.
For a guy that kind of teleports in the later films, yeah, I kind of do want him to be fast on his feet.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, given the size and girth of him,
it's weird because
I'm just thinking from a realistic standpoint, trying to mix it in with the supernatural, which is what Friday the 13th ended up becoming.
It's weird because I like I like Freddy versus Jason. I like Jason's look in it.
I love the action.
I don't like his movements sometimes. That's my problem.
Too sluggish.
I mean, yeah, it's like I don't blame the stuntman because he can show he can pull off a Kane Hodder, Yeah. I mean, he didn't do a bad job. It was just it just felt kind of out of place the way that it was done. I mean the whole scene where Jason where Jason chops Freebird in half, who's possessed by Freddy, that'll always be one of my favorite scenes in the movie, because of the way that Jason moves in that scene. But like growing up now to realize, man, that scene was kind of stupid because you put tranquilizers in a dead man and it somehow works. How does that work? I mean, it just comes off as kind of stupid to me. But yeah, back to what I was saying. So yeah, we got like Tommy Jarvis in the game, and and you imagine if you have Kane Hodder, you have Kane Hodder. Imagine if he played the other characters in the earlier movies. That'd be something people would want to see, and that's what we're getting now. So that's cool. Um, Other things we're getting are single player with bots, which going to the website now, apparently that isn't even going to be in the early release. That's going to be a later release. And they said it was going to be a spring 2017 release. That's when the game is supposed to be released. We're not getting offline mode with bots till 2017.
Are we
Why?
Are we still getting bots in multiplayer? Or is that going to be 2017?
We're probably not getting those at all. They want us to play with. It's going to be like Dead by Daylight, which is going to be exactly the same thing apparently.
That's dumb.
Fun fact: if you want to play as Jason, buy the Friday the 13th game. If you want to play as Michael Myers, play Dead by Daylight.
And if you want to play as someone who is supposed to be Laurie Strode but doesn't really look like Laurie Strode, play Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, play Dead by Daylight. And if you want to play as characters that no one gives a fuck, play Dead Realm, which now is actually being updated apparently.
And if you want more mediocre podcasts, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying. So yeah, we're getting single players with bots in summer. After the game's official. That's when the game's getting released.
Oh, shit.
Single player offline bots summer 2017. So it looks like no, that's what it says on the website now. If you go look at the dates for the backer kit. That's like legitimately what it says right now. Hold on. I can send you a
look right now.
Yeah. That's what it says. If you look at the little video thing, they always put a background for the video. It says beta test fall 2016, full release early 2017, single player offline AI bots summer 2017. So honestly, a lot of people are if you want to play the game and you don't have any friends, just wait until summer. That's probably what I'm gonna do. But honestly, we're probably gonna have to. We're gonna probably have to do a video for the channel with this anyway. So
we will. That's for sure. We're not. It's not like we're not going to. We will. Just we're a little pissed off about.
I hope the matchmaking is. One of the things I'm really worried about is if the matchmaking is as poor as Dead by Daylight, because that's pretty bad. What I'm also assuming is they're going to be adding more kills, or they're just buying time for the backer kit as much as they can until they have enough money to add everything that they were hoping to in the game. As for maps, they added Packanack Lodge from Part 2, and I assumed Higgins Haven.
Right.
Yeah, I think they were doing that. Which we said it previously, so we have now 3 maps, I think. The original, Packanack Lodge, and Higgins Haven. So, I'm hoping that Part 6's map will be included with Tommy Jarvis. Because that's completely different. I'm hoping.
I hope they put in the graveyard as well. So that would be a nice place to like have Jason do some kills, like bury people alive.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But with this also comes a price, and a price as in a price increase, as they have raised the game price by $10.
So it's now what?
$40.
Jesus, I'm glad I backed it when I did.
And now with the idea of what I was saying earlier, with can we hope for more maps? Will this be? We still have no indication yet as of a DLC plan. Since we're already kind of getting DLCs with like custom skins and clothes packs, it makes me wonder what we're going to be, what will we be getting if there is a DLC plan, or in this case, like I said, if we're getting more maps, like, because what was it? Let me take. I want to take another look really quickly. About do I have it in my games folder? I hold on. I had a bookmark, or not a bookmark. I had a a list of the stuff from the Friday the 13th game stretch goals. So what did I say we were at now? We were at like 1.4, I think. Is that right? We're roughly at the pretty much the original stretch goal was we're at 1.4, which we had added 5 more weapons for Jason to use, but they bumped it up now to offline mode with bots. So that's like a $2 million stretch goal, which they're just adding to the game now. Which makes me wonder if we're getting something more. Like the abandoned camp map they said they were adding, or 3 more counselor skins, or even the electrify kill. Or 3 additional Jasons from the early movies. But that's weird because how early can you get? Honestly, you can't get any older school than part 2.
Yeah,
that's already in the game though. Part 3 is already in the game.
There's one thing I want us to. There's one thing I do want us to cover, but that's gonna be for later. I'll bring it up to you in a bit.
What I really want is the 2,850,000 goal, which is the summer camp cabin retreat. The chill in the virtual cabin in between matches. I want that. Honestly, there's a lot of cool things that can be added to the game, but they want a $5 million stretch goal.
If they want the $5 million, just sell the freaking game already.
Yeah,
like literally, they have.
The game does pay for itself.
It would, and they would probably double them. They would triple, quadruple. They would make the money that they got in.
They can make that back,
and then some.
Make that back. They really could make that back.
Because how many horror fans are out there, and how many of them are gamers? I mean, it's almost hand in hand.
It really is. I'm trying to remember. I said we were going to touch on something later on, but I've completely forgotten what we're touching on now.
The Christmas themed horror movies.
No, not the Christmas themed. It was something Friday the 13th. I completely forgot.
I know exactly what. And I gotta ask you something.
Huh?
How did Jason go from Farmer Brown to plumber asshole?
That is what I'm wondering too. I don't think that was exactly what I was going to say. But
was it related to the game or to Friday the 13th as a series?
It was Friday the 13th, I'm pretty sure. But honestly, while we're on that subject, how did Tommy Jarvis go from nerd, or from nerd with glass to PTSD to breaking out of a mental asylum and almost killing 2 people?
That's a good question.
That was never answered. And when we're on the subject,
also, where's Paul?
Where's Paul? And where is Tommy's sister?
That's also a good question.
Now, I realized something. In part 6, they mentioned that Tommy's mother was killed by Jason. That was never seen, by the way. that was never mentioned canon in a film. It was in a deleted scene, but it was never shown canon. And that actually showed the fate of Tommy's sister as well. But Jason was already dead at that point, though. That's why it was a deleted scene. It was a deleted ending. It was never meant to be canon. And then they said, "Oh, well, Tommy's mother is dead." Well, there's no proof to that. Just like how in part 5 they said Jason was cremated. It just there's a lot of continuity errors. Much like the continuity errors we're talking here with Jason being, like Mario. Like he went from the overalls to wearing the pants. I assume he got the pants and the from the hanging in the at the start of the movie at part 3. He changed his clothes at the start of part 3 from what was his name, Harold or whatever, the guy that looks like Cheech, the guy that shit his pants and then got killed on the toilet.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I remember that.
That guy. Yeah. He pretty much stole his clothes. That's the assumption. That's the assumption where the part 3 clothes came from. But what about the part 4 clothes? That they changed to green, didn't they? I think.
I believe so.
Part 6 had Jason with the green, but for some reason he had like a fucking, he had like an entire fucking arsenal strapped to his fucking his entire his belt. He was like Rambo in that movie. He had like all the necessary tools to kill the entire police force, much like Rambo.
I like Rambo. Sorry, I
Pretty
had
much.
a David Carey moment.
Yeah, but then Jason goes in part 7 after being held down in the lake. He goes. Apparently, they have a mall down there because he's able to get a brand new fresh set of clothes and wear those completely out in the water. Where is pretty much the point where his bones were showing. And in part 8, he had the blue duds. And then part 9, it doesn't even really matter at that point because apparently so much time has passed. So, yeah, well, like, I mean, in part 10, no one really cares because, of course, time passed there. That's taking place in the future. That's pretty much it. No one cares at that point. It's just like part 7 though, part 6 and 7. How do you change clothes when you're underwater and you're held down by rock?
I don't know.
But he did not get rid of that snazzy chain throughout the entire movie. I will tell you that.
That chain is dope.
Yeah, he was John Cena wearing that shit.
Yeah. Hey, Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Jay Cena.
Jay Cena.
So
I mean, honestly,
did you know that Jason was originally never meant to be the killer after part 2?
I don't know who was meant to be the killer. I mean,
I'm thinking that they were gonna do this thing where, like, kind of like what Halloween was supposed to do,
and an anthology
try to have
series.
Like, yeah,
it's an interesting concept.
I'm just looking at the wiki page and I'm like, interesting. I mean, I'm glad that it wasn't that case because I like Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame anyone for changing the way Jason is, but like it's kind of weird because like for me, like I've seen Friday the 13th so much, it's actually kind of like it's actually a struggle to get through all the films by marathoning them.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's getting to that point. I mean, like I like Jason, but it's not there for me anymore. Like I love the idea of Jason, but him being this is here. Let me explain something. You had the first two films, okay,
Yeah.
and kind of the third film, where the entire movie, right, like the entire like the first two mainly, um, were in first person. After the pretty much after the second film, and officially after the third film, it pretty much became third person. And it kind of made me realize I don't think I really care enough when a movie becomes like that. Um, because the killer becomes too much of the star.
Well, that's
Like
what usually happens in
Freddy Krueger was never in first person, and you notice that,
yeah.
and you can't really complain about it because of that.
Yeah, but that's like
Um,
that's usually the how it goes when it comes to uh just characters that really stand out in a full-fledged series. Like look at Batman. The Joker is probably a character that
the thing
everybody will
is that I
universally love.
the thing is a lot of people hate part five because it's not Jason, right?
Hmm.
But that's why I think part five was so refreshing as a film, was because of the fact is that if you were new to the film and it's not, you may think because it's a new beginning it's not Jason, and the whole time as they're telling you it's not Jason, but a lot of people were fooled still. They believe, oh, it's Jason, but it's not. And like when you and that's what makes them pissed off when they get to the end of the film and it's not Jason. It makes them realize they've been duped and they're pissed off about it. Even though the film doesn't lie to you, it's not Jason, honestly. And like it even goes back to the first person style for the most part. You honestly don't see that much of the hockey mask at all until the very end when they reveal that oh, he's got a hockey mask. That means it's Jason, right? No, it doesn't. Like a lot of the kills in the film actually rely on first person, like the scene where like one of the scenes that stand out the most to me happens to be the scene where the brother of Reggie's brother, Demon. I'm pretty sure they call him that. I'm pretty sure that was his name, Demon. Like the black guy who played in Return of the Living Dead. Uh, he pretty much he when he's taking a dump and he gets killed. Like
Yeah.
that's done in third person, because you're looking at the at the victim, but you don't see the killer. It goes back to those really earlier films where it's they want you to guess who the killer is, and I kind of like films like that because it doesn't take away from my experience. It makes me really wonder. And finding out that Roy was the killer, like it pissed a lot of people off. It's like, oh, you go out of your way to fucking kill these group of, this giant group of kids because you're pissed off that your son got hacked up and the actual guy that killed your kid is behind bars. And yeah, as stupid as it may sound, and people have a right to complain about it. The thing is, no one was telling you to watch the movie, and nobody was saying that Jason was going to be in the movie.
What I liked about it was that it felt real then. You know,
Yeah, that's the thing. It
like how the
was
first Halloween was. It
yeah, because
felt
it
real
was
because A guy could grab a William Shatner mask, spray paint it up, and wear it and kill people. A guy could grab a hockey mask, put on a freaking electrician suit, and go around killing people.
Well, that's what I liked about it too, is because you didn't know who was doing it, and you don't know why they were doing it until the very end. Kind of like, you know,
and it
with
was the fact that it was a full-fledged person, not an undead nightmare.
Just like with Pamela, it's like, you know, she had a reason for, you know, it's actually, when I realized it, it's the exact same premise as the first film.
Just a little more skewed.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
at least Pamela had a legit reason, though.
Well, so did Roy.
Roy could have just went after the guy who killed his kid and be.
But he was already behind. He was already behind bars though at that time.
Yeah.
But the whole point is that he believes that, you know, they should have been watching Joey a bit more, and they should have, instead they had, you know, the camp ended up getting the kid killed because he was essentially being bullied, quote unquote. And that's what, you know, that's what killed him.
All he wanted was to share a chocolate bar.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
that's like the dumbest reason to kill anybody.
I know, and he got his arm cut off for it. And he got brutally, he got, like, honestly, that was one of the most brutal things in the movie.
That was one of the most saddest deaths ever, because the kid only wanted to share. He wanted to be nice.
The thing that kind of made you kind of fucked up about it was the fact that Roy kept it hidden that it was his kid, and they kind of just shoved Joey off from household to household. Yeah. He never really had a home. But that makes me wonder, well, why exactly was Roy, why exactly did Roy just not take him in? Was he legally not allowed to for some bizarre reason?
I think that was actually a home for, like, the more special people.
Like special, yeah, maybe that makes sense. I mean...
Yeah, and they had scheduled trips that maybe he had to sign off on.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because you can tell by the mannerisms they aren't like you and me. You know, they kind of have these little quirks that make them that much different.
There was the kid with the guy with the speech impediment. Yeah. The girl who was trouble. You know, was other Violet.
The one that was dancing in her room.
Yeah, because she was. I liked her too, but she had anger management issues. And she was like, kind of like goth for, she's, like she was troubled in the case of like, she was probably just very rebellious and very, and, she had, you could tell she had anger management issues. Yeah. You could tell she had anger management issues because of the way she snapped at the kid with with the speech impediment, because he's like, you don't lay a plate for a dead person. And then she gets really pissed off and she's like, I said I was sorry. And it like started a whole argument. And of course you got Tommy there, who is legitimately he's got PTSD from the events with Jason. And which leads into part 6, which in the case of, I guess, how he sees it, the only way that he's going to be able to get over this and live a normal life is if you conquer your fear.
Yeah.
But that only causes more trouble than it's worth. But the problem with that film is the fact that you don't part 5 worked so well because he was envisioning Jason. In part 6, you don't get any of that. Which is why I also don't like part 6, is because you don't actually get to see Tommy dealing with his fear.
No,
like
you don't.
In part 5 you see that,
but really didn't do the Jarvis trilogy justice at all.
I do like the guy who plays Tommy in part 6. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like how they handled the character. He's not a bad actor, and honestly, the movie isn't bad. It's just the way that they could have incorporated more to the character. Like, if I really wish, and like with cases like these movies had an extended cut. I wish the film didn't, the actual film, like the actual, recorded footage. I wish that a good portion of that wasn't lost from any of those films, because like in part 7 you have a lot of the filming for that was lost, and like part 4 the ending, the audio was lost to the the ending with the death of the mother. A lot of the stuff was lost, and it's very upsetting that a lot of this got lost, or the audio got misplaced or whatever, and it's just, I wish there was an extended cut to all this. It really bothers me because Tommy, I guess you don't really see, people don't really talk about PTSD in the in the 80s, and I guess that's an issue. For at that time they didn't take it as serious, and it wasn't real to them.
They didn't take a lot of illnesses that were damaging serious. I mean, come on. I mean, look at AIDS and look
Yeah,
at
that's what I was just thinking. AIDS,
like STDs really like got like in the
that
90s.
really,
STDs were actually like more of a topic, and so
yeah.
was mental issues. Like as far as anybody knew, the whole STDs thing, like you just get a shot and it cleared it up.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's
But
herpes and you
it's,
carry that shit like luggage.
mm-hmm.
I got that from Eddie Murphy actually.
Well, don't worry, you get to carry it like Michael Starr and just say, "Oh, it cleared up. It's fine."
I got a shot, I cleared it up.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. I wish a lot of stuff, like instead of finding it on a bonus, on a bonus DVD, which, by the way, if you don't see a good portion of this, it's mostly on a collector's edition, which is like $200. But for the most part, that's another issue I have, is the fact that companies don't do collector's editions right. Like, let me explain something. The Halloween collection, right? Took them 3 years to 3 or 4 years, and then before that, another 10 year or almost 10 years to get the release of the director's cut, or what was it, Halloween 6 director's cut. It took them like since the movie came out, or it was the producer's cut. Sorry, my bad. But apparently, there's another cut of that movie out there. My bad. But like, the thing is that that's what makes that like at this time, when they released the Halloween deluxe edition, Blu-ray set. That's what makes That's what actually made the Blu-ray set so special and so expensive. Was that as the deluxe edition, it had the Halloween 6 producer's cut, and they stopped making it because Dimension Films ended up losing the rights.
Yeah.
And my problem with that is, they should have produced more of these. Like, not just, oh, we're out of print. No, like, produce a lot of those. You'll make a lot of money doing that. Fun fact, I'm just going to say it now. There's probably going to be another clock coming in at any time. But from what I'm seeing here is you have a lot of these, big collector's boxes. As far back as, back in the day with, like the VHS collector's boxes. I had the Freddy one, the Nightmare on Elm Street collector's box that actually made like an image of Freddy on the side. I'm pretty sure.
Whoa. Sorry to interrupt. You know the girl who played JJ?
Yeah.
She went on to voice Gohan in the first 50 episodes of Dragon Ball Z.
The original Ocean dub.
Yeah.
I never realized that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I'm actually
cool
just stuck on the Wikia, just trying to read up on this stuff, and just tidbits. I like tidbits.
I like that. Yeah,
that's cool.
What
you're saying?
But like, you have a lot of collector's edition stuff, in the fact that you can go, like Hellraiser. they just released a box set, I think, for that, where they had the surgeon scene that was never before seen, except in like what was it? Work print versions of the movie, or in trailers. You never got to see this stuff before, and they wait till now to unleash it, and even then, you don't get the full. Sometimes you don't even get the full movies. Like you don't even get like the full collection, because that's one of the things that have been a real big problem was that the fact that the Hellraiser movies have been owned by so many different people. Mainly, again, another fucking issue with Dimension Films, because they own the rights to Hellraiser too, as well as Halloween.
I almost forgot Dimension Films was a thing.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I remember Miramax.
Yeah.
Well, Dimension. I remember Touchstone.
Dimension isn't that under Miramax? I'm pretty sure. I thought it was. I could be wrong. I think Dimension Films actually got like part of the ownership got owned by, or either that or it got owned by. I think it got owned by Disney under some weird legislation. But I know is that a lot of people are saying, oh, part of it was owned by Disney. That's why you'll never see a proper Halloween release for the part 6. And like it's kind of ironic that they end up releasing it like 3 years afterwards, after there's a petition to get that film out.
Yeah.
The way it was meant to be. And like it's kind of interesting how like I said, the reason that people want stuff like that is like it will make a lot of money, but people are too lazy to or they're too greedy. Just like how we never got an Ash versus Jason versus Freddy, because one, it would be very unfair to actually have a concluded winner or have Ash kick both their asses like in the comics. Because what would be the point of that? It would kind of damage everybody else's reputation, make everybody else look bad. That's why Freddy versus Jason was a bad idea, because they left it open minded and there was never really a conclusive winner. In the case of the ending, because Freddy was alive in the end, and so was Jason. In like I was saying though, like you have the big collections where they have like all the stuff that was on the Halloween releases, in the Blu-rays, were essentially stuff that were all on DVD already, except for the producer's cut. Maybe a few interviews here and there, but that's what made the price of those DVD or the Blu-rays be so expensive. And then you have the Friday the 13th boxes, which, because it's owned by New Line and Paramount, it's very, very complicated to get a release out for these things. Same with Hellraiser. Same with almost all franchises, because they shift around ownership so bad. The only one that doesn't have any issues is Nightmare on Elm Street for the most part. Even Evil Dead has an issue getting a release out. The only release I've seen get released, especially, was with Evil Dead's Australian release that had all 4 movies, and a really sweet Necronomicon box, might I add. Yeah. It was I want that so bad, but like I don't have anything that plays PAL, so. But with that, you have so many. Freddy. Freddy. It is the house that Freddy built with New Line, which is why it's so easy for Nightmare on Elm Street to get that release, because he never left New Line. But the weird thing is that I don't think you actually get to see Freddy versus Jason in a Freddy box set, which is weird. I don't get it. I'm not actually sure about Full Moon though. Those guys might have Puppet Master box sets or whatnot. I'm pretty sure they do. I just don't know, and I've never really cared to look. A lot of Full Moon stuff stays with Full Moon. which that I appreciate. At least they know what to do. They know how to keep it to them. They keep it in the family, so to speak.
They keep it in the
I don't know about Texas Chainsaw though. I don't know about Texas Chainsaw. I need to go see if there's a box set on that. It's weird. I've never seen it. I don't think I've seen a Texas Chainsaw box set because that's owned by a bunch of different people as
Freddy
well.
vs.
Because
Jason isn't on a Nightmare box set.
Isn't that weird? Because Freddy is the first name there. They did put Freddy versus Jason, I'm pretty sure, in the Friday the 13th box set.
I can go look.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a the clock going off anytime now. Don't worry, you can just edit that out. Should be any second.
DVD set.
There's a one with I know there's one with Jason on it. Like a main like.
There's one with the Jason mask.
I think that's the
$160.
Yeah,
shit.
I think that's the one.
Yeah, it doesn't have it.
I thought it
doesn't even have Jason X in it, so.
It's weird. There's two different ones though.
From Crystal Lake to Manhattan.
There's the one with Jason with the machete on it though. Yeah, here it is. It's the one with it's the $300 one. Yeah. That's the one that's the one you want to get. That's the one.
My wallet's not gonna tell me to get it.
There you go. There's the clock. But yeah, that's the one you want to get.
Yeah, fuck that.
Let me explain something that they need to do. What they need to do is they need to take this and they need to re-release it again. Oh. Now here's how I would do it. Because now you have the Crystal Lake Memories, which is its own standalone DVD. I think they need to which this comes along with the editorial reviews say it's a 10-disc collection including the 12 films on 9 Blu-rays as well as a killer bonus DVD full of special features in the making of the famous franchise. The must-own set will be presented in a collectible tin case with 11 hours of previously released special features and a 40-page soft cover book. See, here's my problem. 11 hours of previously released. It's just the same shit we've already seen. The book is excerpted from Crystal Lake Memories. What I just stated, the complete history of Friday the 13th. Now you see my problem with this. Instead of the 40-page book, you can stick that and shove it up someone's ass and give us the DVD version, which was released maybe like a year or so before,
a couple years before. In the next bundle, if they ever
a fan favorite volume that's viewed as
not just Crystal Lake Memories Parts 1 and 2, but they should also include His Name Was Jason.
Yes, they should do that as well. This was released when, though? I don't remember. This is 2015. This was released last year. I watched this and I thought it was very good. And I would rather, I for one would rather watch the collector's edition instead of reading the book personally, because I'm not someone who likes to sit down and read. I like to watch and see how something is made. I don't like to read about how it was made. Much like, and another thing is, I would much like to see a new. Actually, that would be interesting. I would like to see like a cross. I would actually like to see a crossover, collection, so to speak, the Freddy versus Jason collection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How it had, so it wouldn't need me to buy Freddy versus Jason twice. I think that would be nice. I would be down for that, honestly. And then have both the Never Sleep Again Elm Street Legacy documentary, as well as his name is Jason, or not, yeah, and Crystal Lake Memories. Um, it's just something I would much rather have. And if it means paying, a hefty price, you're already paying the rights to New Line Cinema to use the couple of, Jason films. Yeah, that's what I'll call them, the Jason films, because that's what they are. They're not Friday the 13th. They're Jason films. Because it's Jason Goes to Hell and Freddy versus Jason, and and Jason X. That's the thing. With those films, it's like you're already pretty much paying to, like, with the Jason set, you're already pretty much paying to use the Freddy trademark in your collection. And you're already paying New Line just about enough to use the few movies that they've done for Jason. So why not do both of it? You see what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, why not just really? I know a lot of people won't buy it, but there's a lot of people who would buy it because there's a lot of horror fans. But then there's the case of this where I do think scalping would also be a thing, much like the case with the Halloween box set. But then they released it a couple months later with the film as a standalone. But I could always gripe about this even more. But I do think that there needs to be an updated Elm Street collection. Honestly, considering the fact is that the last one was is what a 2013 release, and it only has the first only the 7 original films. I think that's a problem, and I think it needs to be taken care of. Yeah. Same with other films like Scream, for example. That one's been, on its own. Like, I mean, even Saw has a complete movie collection, so to speak.
I actually own it.
And apparently Leprechaun.
God,
for the most part.
I'm the Leprechaun.
And I'm not going to talk about Leprechaun Origins because that's not even a real Leprechaun movie.
God, I'm the Leprechaun.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what I was trying to say here. It's like you got a lot of, like, Freddy vs. Jason's on Blu-ray and it's not in the Freddy collection. So the least you can do is fix that. That's a problem. That needs to be taken. Even the Chucky collection got an upgrade. I know these are different companies, but come on, man. Like, the least you could do is, like, properly give us, what is owed to us. It's just it feels so, like, even Exorcist. I mean, come on. Like, but here's the thing. I mean, like, I think, wait, hold on. Apparently okay, I just noticed. Apparently, let me go back to what I was saying about Scream for a minute. I'm pretty sure we don't have this in America, but apparently I've never seen this, but apparently all the films for Scream got a release on Blu-ray, but I've never seen them. Apparently these, like, from what I'm reading, this is in PAL, or mostly just French. Which, let alone, they call these the complete collection, right? But there is another version of Scream out there, which is extended, which is like an extended or an uncensored cut. Which this will be another thing for another time, but where we're going to talk about like extended cuts to movies. which I think we should do at some point. But honestly, I think this is pretty much gone on for long enough because we're just kind of getting on a tangent if we're talking about extended cuts and whatnot and DVD
We've
releases.
spent like at least an hour talking about Friday
Yeah,
the 13th.
yeah. So this is that we wanted to make this a follow up. So in the end, let's get back to what we were saying. Is this as Friday the 13th being delayed? Is this necessarily a bad idea to delay the game any longer? No. Should they delay it again?
No.
No. Definitely no.
No, it's not a bad thing that it's getting delayed until spring.
Because it's like Alpha Omegason said best. Things like we'll have to wait until the beta.
Yeah.
If there's something wrong with the beta, then you can start regretting your purchase. But as for something like what was it like the Castlevania successor there,
Yeah.
if it had a solid beta and it was ready for people, then sure, it'll be a good game. But the beta is where it's really gonna be tested.
But here's the thing. I'd rather have them delay it, give us a beta now or whenever, and then give us a full-fledged game later on. That way you can have a game that's not something that you can tell is freaking what was it? Full access?
Yeah,
Or
so
early access.
The thing is that you the closest thing they've given us so far is the virtual cabin, and I really like the virtual cabin.
Oh, I do too.
But the only problem is for someone like me, the game does handle a bit like ass, and I'm hoping that gets fixed. And for low end PCs, I think there needs to be a lot of settings. Even games that have been out for more than 3 years, like for example Payday 2, and from a company that doesn't know shit about balancing a game or tweaking. I was gonna say twerking, but tweaking the game a little bit without throwing balance off. Even they are adding more graphics and gameplay settings, which after 3 years they're finally doing that. I don't want a game where they're gonna finally change change it so you have all these settings after 3 years of support for a game. Like, I don't want to wait that long for multiple types of settings. I want to be able to change everything about the game.
Yeah.
Unlike Dead by Daylight, where I can't even change the gamma to the game to see where people are. Like, I mean, I understand that you want to keep it fair and balanced, but if you can't see your fucking dick in front of your fucking face, I'm pretty sure there's an issue here. I mean, let alone the fact that you may not be able to see your dick in front of your face because, one, maybe you're not a guy, and two, what the hell is this? Why is there a dick in front of me? Like, I thought,
this Ash versus Evil Dead?
I like that concept.
Not the butt.
Not the butt. Not the butt. Yeah, well, that's actually what you say that's like legitimately what you say when there's
that's
like
what you
legitimately
say when you pick Laurie Strode and Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, that is exactly what happens. But I mean, it's as well as choosing the map. That's another thing that really gets me. I want to be able to choose my map as the host, or if it's it's whatever. I want to be able to choose. When I'm playing with my friends, I want to be able to choose the map that I want to play as. Like, I want to be diverse with my settings. Like, come on, or at least have a vote option between the four or the at least 4 maps. But I mean, just release a stable product, please. Like, that's all I ask. Anyways, yeah. Do you have any closing words you want to say to the people?
Yeah, I got something to say. Gun Media, Ilphonic. Doubt you guys are watching, but if you are,
Hit us up.
1, sponsor me.
Yeah.
2, um, give us the spaceship from Jason X.
Yes, please give us that and the nitrogen kill for the face smash.
And also see if you can get Derek Mears to play at Jason, because I think it would actually
that's
be cool.
what I want to. Yeah, I was going to mention that. Another thing I like about honestly, like I said, I watched the 2009 Jason, like the Friday the 13th, and I watched the Jason, and honestly, he's not. Derek Mears isn't bad. He's got a look. He feels like Jason. It's not like in any of the games where it's not like what Michael Bay and crew did with Jason. It's not like they made Jason talk. It's not like that case. It's not like what he did to Freddy, where they made him like, I guess, scary, so to speak. That's the problem. People didn't like how, and Freddy didn't feel like Freddy because he was trying too hard to be scary. Jason felt like Jason because he didn't talk. He just killed people. That's all he does.
He didn't need to talk.
Honestly, he did something. Honestly, he did something better than what they did in the original films. They made him a hunter, and that was hunting prey, and that's exactly what Part 2 Jason was.
And that's something that I hope that the next remake that they do with Jason, that they make him more of a hunter rather than
they expand upon that.
Yeah, they should.
Oh no, let's see. You saw how good of a hunter Jason was, right? He was using a bow and arrow. He was cooking people over a fire while they were in a sleeping bag. That was good. Like honestly, I had to take it. I had to take it in for like 7 years. Or what was it? No, hold on. Yeah, like 7 years since that movie came out, and I'm now just accepting that film. That's probably one of the best damn remakes I've seen. Not because of the fact that because it was Jason, but it was a damn good remake for the case of it made Jason who he was. It didn't make it. He wasn't running around in New York. He wasn't running around in space. He wasn't jumping from body to body. That was Jason. It was a Jason. That was a Jason. How's Adam doing?
Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Shit, man.
That's good. I like that. Well, anyways, for closing segments, I really hope they do something good with this game. Like I said, I want to keep doing this. I want to be able to keep interacting and being able to talk about my opinions on the Friday the 13th game until it comes out. I want to be able to talk about, good content, bad content, all kinds of content that requires, horror, the ability to be scary or be scared. I want to be able to talk about stuff. And, it's good. It's good. I give it that. And, yeah, remember, guys, keep, like, comment, favorite, subscribe, do all those things. Help us grow as a group, for our audience, let the audience grow. Help us,
expand our dongs, please.
Yeah, expand our dongs. Recommend us some things that you want to hear. Tell us some things you want to see us cover. We'll keep covering whatever we can, whatever we feel like doing, and yeah, we'll keep trying to we'll try to update and release content as often as we can.
We got more stuff for Bloodbath Gaming, so
yeah, we'll try and do that. We'll try. We want to also try to get our content out on other platforms as well. If YouTube's not your thing, VidMe could be a thing. Vimeo could be a thing.
SoundCloud could be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of trying to do something with the SoundCloud. We were trying to do something with SoundCloud, so just please, just help us grow.
Exactly.
Until next time, guys. I'm BloodNDeception,
and I'm Sawyer Beaker,
and we'll see you on the next
and we'll
episode.
stalk you later.